If I've learned anything in this past year, it's that the time we have is much shorter than we realize. And if you get too comfortable or you stop paying attention, it'll just pass you by. They don't know it yet, but they're about to go on the biggest adventure of their lives. And the worst part is, I don't think I'll ever forgive myself for waiting this long to take them.
Ready?
I should probably start at the beginning. 10 years ago, almost to the day, my path crossed with this bundle of chaos and curiosity. She had the biggest ears and the waggiest tail. But most of all, she had the gentlest soul. And I had no idea how much she would teach me about myself. This is Jupiter. Less than a year later, Galaxy joined us. She's brave, confident, and protective. And she has so much love to give. The two of them became pretty much inseparable. Never more than a couple of feet away from each other, whether it's a long walk or just getting up to mischief at home. They're side by side, always. At the beginning of last year, it might sound silly or stupid to some, but I made a promise to Jupiter. For a moment, her health took a slight turn, and I wasn't sure if I'd make it to the end of the year with her. It's taken a while, but she's still here, fighting fit and ready to go. She's a survivor. And so, it's time to keep that promise. As a kid, I was lucky enough to take trips to and from Scotland. As we'd drive through the Highlands, with my love of photography, I'd often dream of taking a photo from the very top. And after the year we've had, I can't think of a single photo I want more than the three of us at the top of the world. And we couldn't go without Galaxy. So with just under 500 miles to drive and a couple of rest stops, we're going to spend 9 hours on the road. Because that's where we're going. To the top of the world. Eventually, we arrived, and we just had enough light left for a quick walk through the woods. After a day cooped up in the car, both the girls were so excited. We're here for a few days, and before I take the dogs to the top, I want to make sure it's safe. I need to make sure that there's water, and that the route we take won't put too much pressure on Jupiter. Despite our many little adventures over the years, these are city dogs. So this is going to be the biggest thing I've ever asked of them, and in the most beautiful way, it was about to get a little bit harder. We woke up the next day to a winter wonderland. Overnight, the hills had been dusted. For the first time, I was getting to see what I guess you would call real Scotland. For the first climb, my dad's going to join me. I'm pretty sure neither of us have done anything like this before, though there's probably some story from long before I was born about a place my dad went on a school trip where he had to climb a hill. But now he's going to do it in the snow and with his son, carrying way too much photography gear. So I just stopped for the first bit of wildlife, managed to spot some deer, and I can hear a bird, but I can't see a bird. Over here, now I can hear the bird again. So I'm just trying to locate it, and then I'll get some photos of it. Bird found. It's time to begin our climb. There's a running joke in our family because once my dad saw a pair of crampon ice shoe thingies, and not being the outdoorsy type of family, none of us could think of a time where he'd ever get to use them. I'm pretty sure it was about 10 years ago, but now they're on. The wildlife in amongst the scenery up here far exceeds anything I could have planned for. I know, underneath it. It's there at the side, look. It's very cool. Water found. I think I underestimated the task a little bit. Okay. And I definitely wasn't kidding. I thought this would be easy. This looks like a good spot, this little hill. I'm looking for a very particular scene. I planned this shot a million times and I wanted to be able to see mountaintops in the background, but for it to be flat in the middle where we were. This looks like it could be a great spot. It's flat, there's peaks in the background, and plenty of space to get a clean shot of me and the dogs. Cool. This photo, this was one I hadn't planned for. A bonus, if you like. But after taking this photo, Dad said something that stuck with me. He said, "This will be the last time that I do something like this." Okay. I'd never even considered that this would be the only time that I would do this with my dad. I think you can see it on my face here, but in those few steps that I'd taken, I felt incredibly alone all of a sudden. Nothing had changed, but everything had, all at the same time. One thing started to change, and that was the weather. The visibility dropped, and we were walking on sheet ice. Oh, and remember the stream from earlier? Well, I found it again. Saved it. Safely back in the car, and the route planned for the next day. It was time to head home. and I've never felt more at home than I do here. Happy again to see me after a day spent with my mum. It was back to the woods for these two. A good couple of hours of walking around the woods should tire them out enough. Tomorrow is a big day. Overnight, even more snow came down, but we're so invested, that's not going to stop us. The adventure begins. I have no idea what they thought was going on, but I'd love to find out. Being blown all over the place and getting covered in snow. Ice really isn't Galaxy's thing, but Jupiter didn't mind. I, on the other hand, avoided the ice completely. All you have to do in this place is walk 100 yards, and the weather is completely different. We went from clear blue skies to strong winds and snow drifts. Honestly, I have no idea what was coming up next. But these two, they could not care less. And I'll just follow behind them. Perhaps a mouse? I have no idea what they were looking at, but they were fixated on it. I like to think it's the story behind the photograph that makes the photograph. And this is an adventure I will never forget. This is it. This is the spot, and so I have just a few moments to take it before this blue sky disappears. The camera on a tripod, I walked out into the snow with the dogs, and it worked. Everything for this, and I couldn't be happier. Back down we go. Finally using the water that we spent ages trying to find.
Very proud of you girls.
A year ago, I thought I might be saying goodbye. But today will be with me forever. There's so much to this trip that just coincidentally went perfectly. From the snow to the blue skies, everything, and I mean everything, was perfect.